my name is John Castor. I'm the general manager at the Stratford Museum. I started here in June of 2013. I had previously been the managing editor at the Beacon Herald, and I'd worked at the local newspaper for 33 years, and then retired and started here in just June of this past year. And the museum is going through some, I would call it, transition, where it wanted to be more relevant, it wanted to have a higher profile in the community, it wanted to be a destination point not only for tourists but for patrons of the museum, for residents of Perth County, for a variety of things, not just historical things, but for example, we have writing workshops that take place here, we have astronomy clubs that meet here, we've currently got a skating rink. On Family Day we had dozens of people here to snowshoe, as well as all the different people that go through the museum and see our exhibits. And we're sort of rebranding what a museum should be, and not only for the Stratford Museum, but museums in general are doing that. We have movie nights, that you have writing seminars here, that you have service clubs meet here, and that's part of what we're doing here. One of the interesting things that when I came from a newspaper environment, newspapers doing the same thing. They're finding ways to get their information through to their readers through not only the web, of course, but through smartphones and through Twitter and Facebook. And so it is with museums, is that I often think that if you do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. But I don't even think that's true. I think that if you always do what you've always done, you might not get what you've always got, that it won't be good enough anymore, that you need to do something different, that the idea of somebody coming to a museum, they may come once, and that's good, but our idea is here that you'll come to this museum over and over, and that there's all sorts of different reasons to come here all the time, that we've had people here doing readings from their books, we've had people here, we're talking about doing small plays. The Stratford Festival is going to have a catered event here in August where they provide a meal, a gourmet meal to their members, and people at the same time hear a speaker about Shakespeare's First Folio. And so you need to be nimble, and you need to be completely outside the box, and you can't be tied to, we've never done that before. And that's one thing a statement that we've absolutely shelved here is, if it comes up in a process we say we've never done that before, then that's an indication that maybe we should do it. That doesn't remove the notion, that moves it to the top of the pile, that we've never done that. Well, maybe we should do it. I think everything's at risk. I think radio stations are at risk. I saw a thing the other day, if we're talking about television right here, I read the other day how 1 million people watched the U.S.-Canada hockey semifinal online. How a year ago or 6 months ago, that was inconceivable. And like our national broadcaster, CBC, came up with a system where they would remedy the broadcast for online, that it would run parallel to the broadcast for TV. I think that when I look at newspapers that are having paywalls, that I look at what the ROM does. I was down at Casa Loma last week and looked at the changes they've done, to a museum that is from 1890 and all the different things they're having to do there. For example, Casa Loma is now one of the more popular on-site locations to shoot movies in Hollywood North, in the city of Toronto, that the ROM makes itself available to shoot movies. Here at the Stratford Museum, we had wedding parties get their pictures taken here last year. Last week we had people come out and get their engagement photos done on the property. We've got a snowshoeing program. All those things that I think a lot of things are at risk. I think, when I look at retailers and I see retailers say, we need to do things differently. I went to the movies a couple weeks ago, and you bought your tickets through your smartphone on the way to the movie theater. I flew to Florida and I get my boarding pass on my phone. I think we're going through a period of time where for museums, schools, movie theaters, retailers, of any myriad of things, that I think you need to absolutely be prepared to do things you've never done before.